You're damaged goods. You have no ambition beyond reliving your own trauma, my girlfriend spat. So I ended things. But when my youth center landed $1 million grant, suddenly she wanted back in. So this happened last month and I'm still processing it. I keep going back and forth between feeling relieved and completely destroyed, so I figured I'd get some outside perspective. I've been with Skye for over a year. She works in PR for some fancy marketing firm downtown, and I'm a social worker at a youth center. We met through mutual friends at this rooftop party, and honestly I thought she was way out of my league. She's gorgeous, successful, drives a BMW, lives in this sick apartment. I grew up in foster care, bounced around a lot as a kid, got into some trouble in my teens. Nothing crazy, mostly just survival stuff when I was homeless for a bit. But I turned my life around, got my degree, and now I work with kids who remind me of myself. The turning point came when a social worker named Mrs. Hammond saw something in me at 17 and helped me get into a transitional living program. She basically saved my life and showed me what real support looks like. Becoming a social worker myself was my way of honoring what she gave me. Skye knew about my background from early on. I was upfront about it because I've learned that hiding your past just creates bigger problems later. She seemed cool with it at first, even said it was inspiring how I'd overcome so much. But looking back, there were signs I ignored. She'd make these little comments about my job, like, "Don't you want to do something more ambitious?" Or "You're so smart you could make real money in the private sector." When I'd talk about the kids I work with, she'd listen, but I could tell she didn't really get it. She'd change the subject to her work drama or some influencer she follows. The breaking point was 3 weeks ago. I'd been working late because one of my kids, Noah, was having a rough time at home. His mom's boyfriend was being a jerk, and Noah was talking about running away. I spent hours with him, connecting him with resources, making sure he had a safe place to stay. By the time I got to Skye's place, it was almost midnight. She was furious, not just annoyed. I'm talking full-on rage. She was waiting by her kitchen island when I walked in, arms crossed, still in her work clothes. 3 hours, Kyle. 3 freaking hours I've been waiting for you. I set my keys down carefully, trying to keep my voice calm. Skye, I told you I might be late. Noah was in crisis and Noah. She slammed her wine glass down so hard I thought it might shatter. You always prioritize those damaged kids over our relationship. We had dinner plans. I had to eat alone like some pathetic single woman. It was an emergency. His mom's boyfriend was threatening to kick him out and he's only 17. I couldn't just leave him. Yes, you could have. Her voice was getting shrill now. You could have referred him to someone else, or told him to call a hotline, or literally anything except abandoning your girlfriend for some delinquent who will probably end up in jail anyway. I felt my chest tighten. Don't talk about him like that. This is exactly the problem, Kyle. You're so wrapped up in this savior complex because you see yourself in these kids. But here's the thing, she stepped closer. I don't want to date someone who's still carrying all that baggage. You're damaged goods and I can't keep pretending that doesn't matter. The words hit me like a physical blow. The way she said damaged goods, like I was some broken toy she'd gotten tired of playing with. I stood there for a moment, mouth open, not able to form words. What did you just say? You heard me. She was pacing now. I need someone who's going places, not someone who's content working with delinquents for peanuts. My friends all have boyfriends who are doctors, lawyers, executives. What am I supposed to tell them when they ask what you do? Oh, Kyle babysits troubled teens. I found my voice, though it came out rougher than I intended. These kids aren't damaged, Skye. They're survivors. And this work isn't beneath me, it's everything to me. She rolled her eyes so dramatically I could practically hear it. That's the problem, Kyle. You have no ambition beyond reliving your own trauma every day. I thought you'd grow out of this phase, but you're never going to be the kind of man I need. What kind of man do you need? The question came out before I could stop it. Someone successful. Someone who doesn't define himself by his worst moments. Someone who can take me to nice places without worrying about the cost. Someone my family can be proud of. She paused, studying my face. Someone who isn't still broken. I walked to her door without saying another word. My hands were shaking as I grabbed my jacket. "Where are you going?" she asked, her voice laced with sudden alarm. "Leaving," I said quietly. "You want someone who isn't still broken. Fine, go find him, I'm done." "Kyle, don't be dramatic, we can work through this if you just know." I turned around one last time. "We can't." I walked out that night and haven't spoken to her since. She texted a few times saying we should talk when I'm ready to be rational, but I blocked her number. The thing is, part of me wonders if she's right. Am I holding myself back? Am I just stuck in my past? I love my job, I'm good at it, and I'm helping kids who need it. But maybe I am settling for less than what I could achieve. I don't know, Reddit. Am I crazy for thinking she was completely out of line? Or should I be taking a hard look at whether I'm limiting myself? Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. Thank you all for the support. I honestly didn't expect this response. Reading your comments is helping me realize just how messed up some of the things she said really were. For those asking, yes, I'm doing okay. Work has been keeping me busy, and honestly, focusing on the kids has been helping me process this whole thing. Update 1. Posted 2 weeks ago. Well, this is a wild update I wasn't expecting to write so soon. Remember how some of you said she'd probably come back once she realized what she gave up? Yeah, about that. So remember how I said I blocked Sky's number? Well, apparently that doesn't stop someone in PR from finding other ways to reach you. But that was later. She didn't try to contact me at all for the first few weeks after our breakup. Radio silence. Through mutual friends, I heard she'd already moved on to some guy named Christopher, a corporate lawyer who drives a Tesla and lives in one of those luxury downtown condos. Exactly the kind of successful man she said she needed. I was actually relieved. It stung a little that she'd replaced me so quickly, but mostly I felt free. Then last week, something interesting happened that explains why she's suddenly so interested in reconciling. I got called into my supervisor's office on Monday. I was nervous as hell because you never know what that means in social work. Turns out, our little youth program caught the attention of some major donors. Remember Marcus, the kid I mentioned who was having trouble at home? His story, along with several others, got featured in this local news piece about innovative youth programs. The article highlighted how our center is using a different approach, treating these kids as whole humans with potential instead of just problems to manage. Long story short, we just got approved for a massive expansion. We're talking about a $2.8 million grant over 3 years to create a model program that other cities can replicate. They want me to lead the whole thing. It's going from a small community center program to a legitimate nonprofit organization. I'll be the executive director. I found out Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, Sky was suddenly texting me from a new number. "Kyle, I heard about your amazing news. I'm so proud of you. I always knew you were destined for big things. We should celebrate. I never stopped believing in you." The audacity. 3 weeks ago, I was damaged goods with no ambition. Now I'm suddenly worth her time again because there's money and prestige involved. I ignored her texts, so Friday she showed up at my work. Just walked right into the youth center like she owned the place. Some of my kids were there, working on their college applications. She comes strolling in wearing this expensive outfit, heels clicking on the floor, and asks the front desk to get me. Noah saw her first. This kid has incredible instincts about people, probably comes from growing up having to read adults for survival. He took one look at her and immediately got this guarded expression. "Kyle," he said when I came out to the lobby, "this lady says she knows you, she feels off." Smart kid. I told Sky we needed to talk outside. The conversation was surreal. She was acting like the breakup never happened, like she was just dropping by to see her boyfriend's workplace for the first time. "This place is so authentic," she said, looking around like she was touring a zoo. "I can really see your vision now. You know, with my PR background, I could help you develop a media strategy for the expansion. This kind of feel-good story is exactly what brands want to support." I stared at her. "Sky, you literally called me damaged goods 3 weeks ago." "Oh honey, I was just scared about our future. I didn't understand your passion before, but now I see how brilliant your approach is." We could be such a power couple, you running this amazing organization, me handling the marketing and fundraising. Think about the galas we could throw." That's when it clicked. She wasn't interested in me or my work. She was seeing dollar signs and social media opportunities. "I need you to leave," I told her, "and don't come back to my workplace again." Her mask slipped for just a second. "Kyle, be smart about this. You're going to need someone who understands how to navigate high society donors. You can't do this alone. I'd rather fail alone than succeed with someone who thinks my kids are photo opportunities." She left, but I know this isn't over. Ashley texted me yesterday saying Sky is going through a rough time and maybe I should hear her out. Apparently, her relationship with Christopher the lawyer isn't the fairy tale she thought it would be. Turns out being with someone who only cares about money and status gets boring pretty fast. And now that I'm suddenly successful in her eyes, she's been talking about me non-stop, probably romanticizing what we had. The crazy thing is, I don't feel angry anymore. I feel sorry for her. Like, imagine being so empty inside that you only value people based on their earning potential or social status. That must be exhausting. Meanwhile, Noah got into community college with a full scholarship. Another one of my kids, Jasmine, just got her first job. These moments are worth more than any relationship with someone who sees dollar signs instead of human beings. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. You helped me see this situation clearly when I was doubting myself. Update 2. Posted 1 week ago, you guys. I cannot make this shit up. Sky has completely lost her mind, and now she's trying to insert herself into my professional life in the most manipulative way possible. Remember how I said our program got a $2.8 million grant? Well, we're having this big fundraising gala next month to officially launch the expanded program and attract additional donors. It's a huge deal. We've got city council members coming, local business leaders, even some state representatives. This event could set the tone for our organization's entire future. Guess who somehow got herself on the planning committee? I found out Monday morning when I walked into our planning meeting and saw Sky sitting at the conference table like she belonged there. She was dressed in this professional outfit, had a folder full of notes, and was deep in conversation with our board chair about media strategy and brand positioning. My supervisor, Janet, pulled me aside before the meeting started. "Kyle, I hope you don't mind, but Sky reached out to us last week. She explained that you two have a personal history but that she's committed to keeping things professional. Her PR firm is offering their services pro bono for the gala. Given her experience, the board felt it would be irresponsible to turn down free professional help." I wanted to scream. This woman called me damaged goods, dismissed my work as babysitting delinquents, and now she's positioning herself as my organization's savior. The manipulation was so calculated, so perfectly executed. She knew I couldn't make a scene without looking unprofessional, and she was counting on me being too nice to expose her real motives. The meeting was torture. Sky had clearly done her homework. She talked about amplifying our impact narrative and leveraging social media to build authentic community engagement. She kept referencing me as our visionary leader and talking about how excited she was to support Kyle's incredible work. But here's the thing, I've learned to recognize manipulation tactics from working with kids who have been abused. Everything Sky said was designed to make her indispensable while positioning me as someone who needed her expertise. She wasn't offering to help, she was staging a takeover. After the meeting, she cornered me in the parking lot. The professional mask came off immediately. "Pretty smart, right?" she said, clearly proud of herself. "I told you that you'd need someone who understands how to work with donors. Now we can be partners in this. Sky, this is my workplace. These are my colleagues. You can't just manipulate your way into my life." Manipulate? Kyle, I'm offering valuable services for free. Your little organization would be paying thousands for the kind of expertise I'm bringing. You should be grateful. I want you to withdraw from the committee, she laughed. And tell the board what exactly? That you can't work professionally with your ex-girlfriend. That you're putting personal feelings above the organization's needs. Good luck explaining that to your boss. That's when I realized how deep her game was. She'd positioned herself as the reasonable professional while making me look petty and vindictive if I objected. It was brilliant and disgusting at the same time, but I've been playing chess while she's been playing checkers. I spent the last week documenting everything. I saved all her old texts about my work being beneath her, screenshotted her social media posts about needing a real man with ambition, and I had witnesses to our conversation outside the youth center. More importantly, I talked to Noah and some of my other kids. These teenagers have been through every manipulation tactic in the book, and they could smell Sky's bullshit from a mile away. Noah actually volunteered to help me expose her. "Kyle," he said, "this lady isn't here for the kids, she's here for herself. We can see it, and if we can see it, other adults can too. So I'm done playing nice. Tomorrow I'm meeting with Janet and the board chair. I'm going to lay out exactly who Sky is and what she's really after. If they still want to work with her after that, then maybe this isn't the organization I thought it was. The worst part is how she's trying to poison other people against me. She's been telling board members that I'm difficult to work with, and that my emotional attachment to the work makes me resistant to growth and change. She's planting seeds of doubt about my leadership abilities while presenting herself as the stable, professional alternative. But you know what gives me hope? The kids see right through her. Today Jasmine asked me, "Kyle, why is that fake lady trying to take over our program? Even the teenagers can tell she's performing philanthropy instead of actually caring. I'll update you all after tomorrow's meeting. Wish me luck, Reddit." Edit, for those asking how she got on the committee, she contacted our board chair directly, introduced herself as a PR professional who wanted to volunteer, and mentioned her connection to me without revealing the full nature of our relationship. Technically, she didn't lie, but she definitely misled them. Final update. Posted 3 days ago. Holy shit, Reddit. The saga has reached its conclusion. Justice served, and my life is better than ever. First off, thank you all for the incredible support throughout this journey. You helped me see clearly when I was doubting myself, and your comments gave me the confidence to stand up for what was right. The board meeting happened, and it went exactly as it should have. I came prepared with documentation, witness statements, and a clear timeline of Sky's behavior. But honestly, I barely needed to present my case because Sky destroyed herself. Janet started the meeting by asking me to explain my concerns about working with Sky professionally. Before I could even begin, Sky interrupted. "This is exactly what I was worried about," she said. "Kyle has been struggling with the transition from hands-on youth work to executive leadership. He's having trouble seeing the bigger picture." The board chair asked her to clarify what she meant. That's when Sky made her fatal mistake. She launched into this condescending speech about how my background made it difficult for me to understand sophisticated fundraising strategies, how my emotional connection to the work was clouding my judgment, and how the organization needed someone with professional distance to help guide strategic decisions. She basically repeated every classist, elitist talking point she'd used during our breakup, but dressed it up in corporate language. The board members started shifting uncomfortably in their seats. These are people who have worked in social services for decades, many of whom came from similar backgrounds to mine. Then she said the thing that ended it all. "Look, I understand Kyle's attachment to these kids. But at some point, we have to ask whether someone who's too close to the population can make objective decisions about program development." Dead silence. Janet's face went through about 5 different expressions before she spoke. "Ms. Sky, are you suggesting that people who have lived experience similar to our youth are less qualified to serve them?" Sky realized her mistake immediately, but the damage was done. She tried to backtrack, but it just made things worse. "That's not what I meant. I just think there's value in outside perspective." The meeting ended with Sky being politely but firmly removed from any involvement with our organization. The board chair actually thanked me afterward for bringing my concerns forward and apologized for not vetting the volunteer more thoroughly. But wait, it gets better. Apparently, Sky didn't take the rejection well. The day after the meeting, she started a blog called The Truth About Feel-Good Nonprofits, where she basically tried to expose me as a fraud. She claimed I was running a vanity project that exploited vulnerable youth for grant money, that I was unqualified for leadership, and that my personal issues made me unsuitable for the position. She posted photos she'd taken at our center without permission, quoted private conversations we'd had during our relationship, and even included details about my foster care background that I'd shared with her in confidence. It was a complete violation of privacy and trust. Here's the thing, though. Skye doesn't understand the community she was trying to attack. Within hours, Noah and Jasmine had organized a response. They created their own social media campaign showing what our program actually does, featuring testimonials from dozens of kids and families we've helped. The authenticity of their voices completely demolished Skye's narrative. Then our local news station picked up the story, not Skye's blog, but the kids' response to it. The headline was, "Local Teens Defend Youth Program Leader Against Online Attacks." The reporter interviewed several of our kids, and their passion for defending the program was so genuine and powerful that it went viral. Skye deleted her blog 3 days later, but screenshots live forever on the internet. Meanwhile, the publicity from all this drama actually helped us. Donations started pouring in from people who were inspired by the kids' loyalty and advocacy. We've raised an additional $300,000 in the past week alone. Other youth organizations around the country have reached out wanting to partner with us. 3 universities have contacted us about research collaborations. Most importantly, our kids learned something valuable about standing up for what they believe in. Noah told me yesterday, "Kyle, we couldn't let that lady lie about you. You've always had our backs, so we wanted to have yours." As for Skye, I heard through mutual friends that Christopher broke up with her after the blog incident. Apparently, he was embarrassed by the negative attention and didn't want to be associated with someone who would attack a youth program. But that's not even the worst part for her. Turns out writing a vindictive blog attacking a nonprofit isn't great for your PR career. Her firm's clients started asking questions when the story went viral, and she's apparently been reassigned to smaller accounts. Some people are saying she might get let go entirely since the whole thing made her look unprofessional and vindictive. She's been trying to get friends to reach out to me on her behalf, but I'm done with that chapter of my life. The program launch gala is next week, and it's going to be incredible. We have corporate sponsors, foundation commitments, and most importantly, we have a community of young people who are excited about their futures. That's worth more than any relationship with someone who couldn't see their value. I've learned so much from this experience. Sometimes people show you who they really are, and it's important to believe them. My work isn't just a job, it's my calling, and I won't apologize for that to anyone. The kids I work with aren't damaged goods. They're survivors with incredible potential, just like I was once. Thanks for everything, Reddit. You helped me through one of the hardest times in my life, and I'll never forget that. Peace out.